Hendrick's Gin is a brand of gin produced by William Grant & Sons at the Girvan Distillery, located in Scotland. Invented by Yorkshire native Leslie Gracie, it was launched in 1999, and a decade later, she was tasked with creating a new super premium gin. In addition to the traditional juniper infusion, Hendrick's uses Bulgarian rose and cucumber, giving it its unique flavor. Hendrick's Gin is bottled in a dark brown apothecary-style bottle. Hendrick's Gin is handcrafted in batches of only 500 liters at a time. The alcohol by volume varies from 44 to 41.4%, and it is generally 88.0 to 82.6 proof. Hendrick's uses two stills, which produce greatly different styles of gin due to their different construction and methods of distillation. The Bennett still is small, allowing most of the botanical flavor characteristics to pass into the spirit. The still is filled with neutral spirit and the botanical recipe added with some water. This steeps for 24 hours, which begins the process of extracting the flavor from the botanicals. The still is then heated to boil the liquid. As the pot begins to boil, vapors move up the short column of the still to where they condense and are collected. First runnings can be as high as 92% alcohol, with a gradual decrease in the strength as the distillation progresses. Once all of the alcohol is collected, the final spirit will be approximately 75% alcohol. This spirit is heavy, oily, and smells strongly of juniper. On the other hand, the spirit from the Carter head still is subtle with light floral and sweet fragrances. Its production method is different, with only the neutral spirit and water added to the pot. All botanicals used with the Carter head are added to a flavor basket at the very top of the still. Instead of boiling the botanicals, which produces the strong, pungent spirit of the Bennett still, the Carter head bathes the botanicals in the alcohol vapors. As these rise up through the still, they enter the base of the botanicals basket. Inside, the botanicals are contained in copper baskets, which hold them together and allow them to be fully exposed to the vapors. As the evaporated alcohol moves through the botanicals, it extracts their flavors, which are carried out of the basket along with the alcohol until they reach the condenser. Only the lighter, sweeter, and floral flavors can be extracted by this method, which gives the spirit its distinctive character. The final Hendrick's Gin is a blend of these two spirits, with an addition of cucumber essence and rose petal essence. According to the date on its bottle, Hendrick's Gin was established in 1886. However, that was when its whiskey-making owner, William Grant & Sons, was founded in Dufftown on Speyside. They didn't get around to making Hendrick's for over a century, and in the late 1990s, Leslie Gracie and Grant's master distiller, David Stewart, began experimenting with a small batch premium gin, which had a great impact. The gin writer, Geraldine Coates, says it led to a whole second wave of innovation and experimentation. Hendrick's Gin premiered in New York in 2000 and in the United Kingdom in 2003. It wasn't until around 2008 that it really took off, growing by over 30% year on year in the United States. Its popularity lies in how unique it is. Global Marketing Director Fiona Toner says no other gin is like it because no other gin is made like it. Hendrick's Gin is the 7th best-selling gin in the world as of June 24, 2020, with growth of 7.7% for the brand in 2019. The company posted a 4% post-tax profit growth to $338 million, which was attributed to the opening of a Hendrick's Gin distillery, an air raid packaging center, and the company's first bottling operation in India. The $16 million Hendrick's Gin Palace, which opened in October, comes complete with a palm house, 2 hot houses, 2 still houses, a laboratory, flavor library, lecture theater, and gin bar. Hendrick's Gin remains popular due to its quirky, unique production process and flavor. As for competitors, Hendrick's top competitor is Diego's Gordon's, with growth of 10.9% to reach 5.1 million cases. Diego's Tanqueray has the fastest sales growth, with a 16.7% increase to hit 3.5 million cases. Bacardi's Bombay Sapphire experienced a 5.9% rise in sales, with 4.0 million cases. Beam Suntory's Larios brand has a 12.7% increase, reaching 1.4 million cases. Meanwhile, Hendrick's gin experienced a 13.3% increase, hitting 1.1 million cases. Diego's Gordon's remains the top-selling gin brand. As more countries are starting to produce gin, terroir is becoming popular. Terroir is the characteristic taste and flavor imparted by the environment in which the gin is produced. This means that producers are creating gins with botanicals from the area of the world that they come from, instead of the traditional botanicals that go in gin. For example, a Japanese gin called Roku is infused with botanicals specific to Japan, such as cherry blossoms and yuzu. Another current gin trend is pink gin. Inspired by the popularity of rosé wine, pink gins utilize botanicals with red hues such as hibiscus and rhubarb. Gordon's Pink Gin, Malfi Gin Rosa, and Beefeater London Pink are some examples of gins that capitalized on this trend. Hendrick's experienced a 20.9% increase in 2017 and continued its eccentric marketing approach when it unveiled Corgan, the cucumber organ of remarkably glorious auditory nirvana, the keys of which are made of 49 real cucumbers. They also launched a limited edition Hendrick's gin called Orbium, a reimagined gin intended to capture what Hendrick's might taste like in a parallel universe. Throughout 2017, Hendrick's was successful for William Grant & Sons in the travel retail market. As of August 1, 2017, Hendrick's gin was the 7th best-selling gin in the world. Hendrick's gin experienced a 7.7% increase this year. However, even with current growth in gin consumption, Hendrick's gin remains the 7th best-selling gin. Due to increase in demand and industry trends, more contenders are entering the market. As for the future, Hendrick's Global Travel Retail Director Ed Cottrell claims that standing out in an increasingly crowded and competitive arena would be the biggest challenge to maintaining its success in the future, with dozens of craft gins continually entering the market. Hopefully, the creativity and uniqueness that helped Hendrick's gin gain popularity will be enough to help it stand out from other brands and maintain its marketability.